Welcome to the Aware Leader podcast. Hi, my name is Elena Kupina. I am an executive and leadership coach. I'm an expert in leadership and leadership skills. I want to introduce my friend Anna. And Anna, I'm so glad to have you on our podcast and to have, I'm sure, a wonderful conversation with you about leadership trends and skills today. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi everyone. Thank you, Elena, for having me and for inviting me at your first podcast series that you started. So it's a pleasure and an honor to be here today and talk with you and share with the audience some insights of experience. So I'm a leadership coach and transformational coach, career consultant, and strategist, mentor for coaches, and the membership director at the ICF, International Coaches Federation, British Columbia chapter. And my work is around supporting people, helping them and navigating them in their times of change, when they need clarity, when they need to find a direction, when they need to create the new skills, and leadership is one of them most of the times. Yeah, or test some of the ideas, test their goals and see if they're their goals or not. So I'm helping them in these change times.
Yeah, so nice. Anna, let's talk about new leadership trends. We see a lot changes nowadays in leadership. How company sees the new leadership trends, what they're waiting from leaders. And we both with you help leaders, executives to improve their leadership skills. And usually company send them to these programs to help them to improve their soft skills and to become more confident and better leaders. What do you see? What trends nowadays most required, and what do you help these leaders?
Yeah, this is a great question because in this very active and unpredictable world, the role of leader became even more important for the teams to guide them, to create this backbone for them and to nourish them and to support. So yeah, there's leadership is going through the transformation, and it's not longer about the authority, it's no longer about control or hierarchy. It's about trust, it's about empathy, it's about influence, adaptability, and shared purpose. So modern leaders don't just message tasks, they create this meaning, build environments where people can thrive, and lead with humanity. So this is a completely different skill set from what we used to know from like even 20 years ago. So it's evolving, it's emerging, and yeah, we live with it, and we will be living with it for many decades in the future. So
Yeah,
how about you?
yeah, I absolutely agree with everything you said. And what I see from my practice with helping leaders to improve their leadership skills is just I work a lot with the communication skills because it is totally different right now. Effective communication is not more about like telling something like macromanaging. It is more about listening, understanding, finding the right approach, how to communicate with some different personalities, with different teams. So how to find the right way, how to communicate effectively, and to find the right approach, what would be more meaningful for them, because awareness in communication, I think, plays a big part, a big role, because when it is like with purpose, communication, even one communication, right? One conversation when leaders provide feedbacks or they talk about growth with their direct reports or just discuss results or any issues. The main the key of the effective communication is what is the purpose, what I want this direct report or the other person would feel after this conversation, what I want to get as the outcome, as a result from this conversation. So, and a lot of different criterias. And when we just use this awareness about what is the result, whom I'm talking with whom I'm talking with, the personality, their thinking style, their mindset, their level of communication, and what I would like to get for myself and for other person, it makes a big difference in the results and effects of this communication influence as well that you mentioned.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. And actually, what I also see that people now understand, because sometimes when clients came to me, they were, I like to improve my communication skills with the managers, with the
Mhm.
board, with the other leadership of people. But sometimes they neglect the team. So they focus on those stars and other leaders, but they neglect the team and neglect the idea that they need to spend time to support the team as well.
Mhm.
Not just looking up in the sky and chasing the stars, but also see what's around and how they can work it, because this is like a two-way stream. It's not just go in one direction with communication. Yeah.
Yeah, I can just talk about communication hourly, and I want to share some common issue that my clients face is just, for example, when they can't just provide clear expectations because they don't want to hurt someone, they think it will be too much for them, and they try like to cover a rock in the cloud. So
Mhm,
the sense, the meaning of this message that from this expectation they want to share is losing, and other people don't understand what they want from them. What is causing them is just people come back with the following question, interrupt the leader time and work a whole of the day, and just asking because they didn't get from the first conversation the expectation, criteria of success, what do they need
mhm,
to do about, and cost them a lot for the leader and for the people who need
mhm,
to meet these expectations. And how I help my clients leaders just to find the right approach, not to hurt someone, but
mhm,
still to be very clear about expectations, about how the success should look like, what would be the outcome from that, and how can they clarify if other people understood them clearly. Just to ask question, for example, what are your ideas? How do you think you will solve this problem, or what you're gonna do about this, or what do you think about this? And just hearing the answers, it will make you understanding if the other person is aware and
mhm,
understood these expectations or not. The other issue that I face is also, for example, I'm working right now with a very technical leader, and when she does a presentation for stakeholders, for upper management team, they don't understand her point. It is very painful for her, and she's ready to give up because she don't understand. She doesn't understand what is wrong. because she explains on her language, on her vocabulary, and they can't understand. And right now, what we started to do is just to find the right approach, how to present more effectively. So, on the same level of understanding, on um, we are looking for what they are looking from this perspective, from this presentation, and what is her purpose from this presentation. So a lot of awareness in this. So it is about the purpose and what you're going to get at the end of this presentation, on which language do you need to speak, because it's like we speak with the 5 years kid, right? On the same level, if we will talk and explain on the very difficult, meaningful construction words, they will not understand. But if we will talk on the same level using simple words, they will understand easily. So it is something very primitive example, but it's how we usually do.
Yeah, I have actually pretty much the same situation. So when you were telling your story, I kind of, yeah, I had a similar client. Maybe we have one the same one. No, this was also kind of about presenting to the leaders, to the boards. So the feedback from the my client's manager was that your reports, your presentations are there's a lot. It's
Uh-huh.
supposed to be like 15-minute presentation, but at the end, there is 45. It's interesting, it's amazing, it's well done, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So we are trying to kind of to understand how to put yourself in the shoes of the audience. And kind of each of them are coming to these meetings to solicit some ideas or information to make their own decisions. So every time you do a presentation or a report, think about how this or that person, most likely you know who will be in the room, how this or that information will help them to get their job done, to find the solutions or create the goals or whatever, so the
Uh-huh.
company will prosper. So this will we are just working. We just started. We identified that this might be the different mindset, might be one of the strategies to move forward. So I'm really keen on seeing how it all will be developing.
Yeah, yeah. One of the issues with skills, what I also see is just in this crisis, very fast changing world and tendencies and everything. Every day we see changes, right? And leaders nowadays, they need to be more adaptive. Adaptivity to help adapt for their teams as well and for themselves, and to accept changes that part of the growth, a part of the like new reality in our imperfect world, right? And what do you see from your experience, how it is going on, what is happening with leaders, how they just go through all of these processes?
Yeah, I think that I totally agree that adaptivity is one of the skills, like essential skills, not only for the leaders but for everyone in this world. So most leaders, when they come to me, they are coming from the industries or the environment that already is fast-paced. They survive pandemic, they
Mm-hmm.
recover. So this comes resilience at that stage. So they know that the workflows might be hectic, might be unpredictable, and might be really, really fast moving. So, and again, kind of talking about what they want and how they want to evolve is this again communication. But under this communication, there's also two things that emerging and kind of like beeping, like, hey, we need attention. First is influence.
Mm-hmm.
So how this with communicating this fast and sometimes kind of really like as an avalanche of messages, how to empower people and influence them to make this or that decision, to do this or that action or not to do. So this the influence, informal influence, because informal is pretty much easy. It's let's say direct orders. You need to do this because yeah, or report to me every week, blah blah blah. But how to influence without showing your like authority as a their boss or the person who they report. This is one of the key emerging questions from people who come to me. And another thing that with this influence, it's all interconnected. It comes the personal brand and like public appearance. So how not only like their team of 10 people, let's say, or their manager, but the broader audience, the stakeholders, people outside of the company, other colleagues from different similar corporations or organizations, how they see me and how I present myself, what message I'm giving to them and sharing with them. So this is all about communication. This is all about again being very adaptable because every time you're in a new environment, you need to adjust your story a little bit, adjust your narrative. And it's all about like this influence, but again, not with this power, but with the nourishment, respect, inclusion, safety, and values that people share.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. And I like very much agile system. It is very common in technology world, and I am tech leader, ex-tech leader before working in IT company. So, and nowadays, agile it's and agile in leadership as well is about flexibility to just accept changes and to be able to change something on the fly, not to stuck in some not working solution or like standing somewhere that you need to move forward. And it is about also helping others, your team, or maybe just across departments to to adjust and adapt to the reality, to new trends. Especially nowadays, it is more common about AI.
Hmm.
All the companies they implement AI in their work somehow, and I see even if, for example, some leaders they are going through these new changes, some of their departments just resist to this. And they need to communicate effectively to explain these new changes and to collaborate because it affects their work as well, their progress, their metrics. And this is how leaders need to be very flexible, understand what's going on, be ready for fast changes. And I'm working right now with one of my clients with the issue that her team not very flexible in this question with these new changes as company, and they're a little bit disappointed because they were creating something and the company said no, just forget about everything, it is not working. But they spent a lot of energy, invested their time, energy, thoughts, soul in this project, and nowadays, like said, no, it's they're not going to work on that anymore. And they need to accept this with understanding and how leader can support the team just to move forward and not to look back, but to accept this and to learn from the experience. What can we do better? To be very empathic that I understand your feelings. I know that we are going through not very easy time of changes or adapting. So it is very, I see helpful for leaders not to be resilient, as you mentioned,
Hmm.
right? But also to be very supportive for their team maybe for the whole company as well.
Yeah. And with that also comes the vision and strategic thinking that you need to test even more and kind of preach even more and focus on it. Because again, with this super uncertain world, it's hard to keep this big picture in your head. And then also because it's always can be modified, like
Yeah.
tomorrow can be a completely new angle. And at the same time, you should quickly and creatively sometimes
Mm-hmm.
deliver that change to the others, to your managers, to your teams, to your clients, if you work with them. So it's kind of so many dimensions that you need to think about and take care of. So on the shoulders of the modern leaders put a lot of pressure. And what I've seen that most of my clients are pretty new in coaching. They were assigned or choose to be coached by
Mm-hmm.
their company, so they kind of invited me. They never had this experience, but they are so open to that.
Mm-hmm.
Some point, so I have nowadays days I have lots of new ones, so I don't have like emerging topics or silly examples. But with those who I'm kind of working for a year or 6 months already, they said like how awesome it is that there is an opportunity to kind of have this a third, no, a second pair of ears. No, third is too much. Second pair of ears, or at least different perspective, different angle, and a person who is outside of their bubble, the corporate bubble, to talk to, and to just maybe to get rid of things or learn something new. So openness and not only adaptability and agility, but also openness to learn, openness to evolve and improve themselves. This is also kind of continuous learning is one of the necessary traits that the leaders in the modern world should have and remember about, like supporting yourself. Some leaders come for the well-being and kind of more like work-life balance, but most of them coming for the skills development. But
Well,
anyway, supporting themselves, it's a one step closer to improving their performance, communication, strategic thinking, adaptability, name a few, and then kind of deliver the better results for themselves and for their teams and for the company in a bigger scope, in a bigger picture.
you raised very, very important topic about where our changes it start from ourselves, and openness, it I would say the most critical, the most important part of changes. And when my clients just ask me advice, what would you advise? What would be effective for me to improve my skills? I said, just be open. Be open to experiment. Be open to try something new. Be open to hear yourself, to face the
Mhm.
truth deep
Mhm.
inside deep yourself, and to get know yourself, because what we see nowadays working as coaches, right, with our clients, is people don't know themselves. They don't know their triggers. They don't know why they make
Mhm.
such kind of
Yeah.
solutions, their influence, their strengths. So, and it's start from themselves just to learn what is working for me, what is not working for me, who I am actually, yeah, as a
Mhm.
person, not only as a leader, but as a person. What are my values, real deep values? What is behind of my solutions? What is behind of my mindset? What are the stories I'm telling myself about my skills, about myself, about my beliefs. So, for example, if the leader just believes that they can't trust anybody, it
Mhm.
affects their delegation skills, communication, building relationship, right?
Mhm.
But it starts from yourself, from what do you thinking about something, your beliefs, your values, how do you know yourself, how can you manage your emotions, how can you support yourself, or you just automatically move forward like a horse on the race. Just go, 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 achieve your goal, then next, 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 not looking around, not supporting, not seeing the meaningful value for yourself, the purpose, not looking around to see different perspectives, as you mentioned, different opinions, different solutions. They just get used to something in their mind and they're looking only in one direction, not around, not on the sides and from different angles. And just when they start to be open and to look deeper with our support as coaches, it makes a huge impact.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
One more topic that I want to talk about is uh, how to manage remote teams. It is very um, common issues nowadays. Leaders, a lot of them struggle how to build good relationship in the team when they work remote, when they don't have this personal contact, in-person contact, right? When they need to communicate effectively through the screen only and to be far from them or to be in different time zones. So what is your experience helping leader with these topics and these issues?
I think that half of my clients are still working this or that capacity with the remote teams here and there, and some clients work with the international teams, like having and leading the conversations and communication with the different, as you said, time zones, even regions. But sometimes I think half of the clients already moved again back to the environment of what they used to before pandemic, so in a more kind of impersonal setups. But for those who are still in remote or kind of partially remote workflow, what I see, what they need and what they want and how they already behave is actually kind of everything that we just talk about: communication, values, any kind of leadership skills, conflict management, supporting others, parenting rather than directing. Those being able to learn. This is all the skills that need to be like couple of tones brighter or louder. They kind of they need you need to put a little bit more effort or time to do that, to support those teams, to create those communication flow that you need to kind of create a different mindset that people might be needing more from you, and how not to kind of overwork or go easily into the burnout because of that so many things, so many pressure. Teams needs your attention. You need to do your own work schedule, doing with your own things during the day. So helping prioritize and helping to create more thoughtful strategies for communication, for planning, for coaching mindset, because this is also one of the things that the leaders should have. Instead of telling leaders, mentor, empower, and grow people, so they recognize their strengths, support development. So what do you need from me rather than you need to do this and this? How can I help you to do this? What do you need from us? Do you need any extra time during the week for me to talk with you or answer the questions? So those kind of the coaching mindset, I think this is one of the biggest thing that is emerging here. Kind of supporting and nourishing. Yes, it's not about micromanagement. It's not about like being like a mommy kind of style.
Mhm.
But it's a more about, yes, kind of how I'm here for you, no matter where I am, how far I am. I'm here in your Zoom. How can I help you? This is time for you. What can I do to make your workday easier, efficient, sustainable, whatever, happy?
Yeah. Absolutely agree. And in additional, I want to add something like I work also with leader to help leader to build more trustful relationship and how uh, to unite a whole team when they work remote, because my client just had the situation when some of the team members turn off cameras on the general meetings and didn't really be initiative in some questions and some discussions. So how to unite your team as well, just being remote, and like some of the games, team building, building personal relationship, like to ask about something, what's going on in your life, right? Not very like being friends, but still
Yeah.
to be aware of their life, about their challenges, about
Mhm.
how can they support them, as you mentioned, and also to just to bring more joy in work. For example, some of the companies I know, they provide some channels where they can share some information about their pets or some hobbies or yoga, and they can have some discussions, or for example they can make a competition, just the best painting or something like this that would be relevant to their team. And
Mhm.
also like to congratulate with your anniversary, with some important events, that just to show that you care about them, that they are important, they're heard, to ask more than telling them, to listen more deeply sometimes what is behind what the silence about, right? As we
Mhm.
do this as well. So just be more open to the people, and like people oriented approach, I would say, helps a lot to build this connection, because of course it is harder, more difficult to build a good relationship, just not being in one place, not being able to communicate closely. But it is possible. It needs more efforts, I would say. It needs more soft skills, communication skills, and but it is possible to do.
Mhm.
So thank you so much, Anna, for this interesting conversation. And I'm so glad to have this here in my podcast. I hope that it is not our last conversation here, and we will have more. We have a lot of discuss about leadership, about soft skill communication. So thank you. And thank you for watching us.
Thanks,
See,
everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thanks.
see you next time. Bye.
Bye.